not already working.
But we are streaming, and right now it is not us simply going through the technical stuff because the Fantasy Booker's name is up on the Twitch. So I'm just gonna make sure that everything is working as per usual. But now, if you want to get decent, if you want to do whatever, it is just a
Put
nice
a
little
shirt
banner.
on.
I got my mustache ready. Oh no.
But yeah,
You'll see me.
for what it is worth, welcome everyone to Fantasy Bookers. But there it goes. It's Animesplaining on wrestling. Because
Happy
We find a way to shoehorn wrestling into all of our Animesplaining anyway. So, like, just drop the curtain. Let's just full on talk wrestling.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
probably put anime into this.
I
while
will
we're
say
at it.
that the main good thing I can say about this Wrestlemania is it gave me a reprieve from the deluge of anime that I've had to watch over the past 3 weeks. By the way, this is your 2-week warning because I have one show left. I have
That's
24
fine.
episodes left, but I have one show left.
Which is the one we're watching then? We got a 2-week warning.
Where
All of them? Are we
we're
watching all of
you,
them?
you are watching at
6
least
shows.
2 episodes of each of the Anime of the Year contenders.
Which is 6 shows, right?
Yes. And you've
Okay.
already seen the first season of one of them, because one of them is Kaiju number 8.
So,
All right.
yeah.
So you're really
10
watching
episodes.
10 episodes, while I watched over 100.
Well, I gotta watch. So I'll watch Dan to Dan is 1.
Yes.
Kaiju number 8. I'll watch 2 episodes over, and then a couple others.
Yeah,
That
Freyrin is good. Like Freyrin is probably my top pick. I'll go into it a lot more on the show itself because we are actually going to be in that before the actual Anime of the Year awards because it's at the end of May, so we'll be able to give our hot take and stuff like that.
give me a little bit of a sneak preview. How many of these shows did you like this WrestleMania better than?
So I haven't watched Apothecary Diaries yet, aside from the first episode, and the first episode was hot garbage. I like this WrestleMania more than Solo Leveling, which I think is the hottest of garbage.
That's not a good
I think
sign
everything else I liked more than this WrestleMania. Even Delicious in Dungeon has the benefit of being made by Studio Trigger, and their animation is like perfect. But Delicious in Dungeon has this ongoing gimmick that they always need to like give you a fake how to make a recipe out of a fantasy creature thing. And when they're trying to have this big emotional moment that is alongside like, hey, this creature looks like a pumpkin, so here's this pumpkin dish. It's a little weird.
Great.
The Japanese are more creative than this.
WrestleMania, so I will take it.
But aside from that, we watched WrestleMania 41, unfortunately.
For you.
Night 1 was okay.
Night 1 was
worse
much
than
better than Night 2, and frankly, that triple threat should have been the end of the show.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, we could talk about there were a couple Night 1 matches that for Charlotte Flair to give Tiffy just that ass whipping. God damn, she just beat the dog shit out of her.
Someone needs to I will get into this in the match, but someone needs to sit Charlotte Flair down and say, "Hey, wrestling's fake. You can lose. It is not a personal issue."
I've enjoyed that aspect. Bring kayfabe back.
Oh,
just the biggest fucking boo-boo face through the entire match. Like, oh, I'm losing.
And an ass whipping. It wasn't just that. And then like, hey, Tiffy, you're new to the business. Here, let me break your leg. Or in this case, your face. Like, god damn.
Went full on APA on her.
Like went full on, yep, veteran showing the young new up and comer what's going on.
Full on Bubba Ray Dudley. Potatoes. Not even Bubba, Bully Ray. Full on Bully Ray Dudley.
Let's start with this, though, because this pissed me off. What is the point of a 4-hour pre-show with no match to start? Like, no warm. Like, cool, I get that you had, like, you sell SmackDown the night before, and then you have the NXT show. But, like, the NXT show was still done by, like, 2 o'clock? You have 4 hours of span, and you definitely have enough people to employ.
They're just taking up time. They're just taking up valuable time because they know they can, and they know that people are going to watch. They don't want to make it as big all day. Look, it's WrestleMania Day. We're taking over your TV thing, but don't even have the content to really justify it. When they had a WWE Network, they did, but now they just kind of follow announcers around as they talk about what happened for the past year, and that's really it.
Yeah. So I get more Peter Rosenberg. Yay.
Yeah.
I will actually hop on that question, Joey. We have had WrestleMania for 2 nights for what? 4 years, 5 years now?
Feels like it.
Is this a failed
Probably
experiment?
At least 36. Because the COVID one was 2 nights. Was the one before? I don't think the year before that was. I think COVID was the first one that was 2 nights.
Yeah. But
it would have been 36.
And this isn't regarding ticket sales. This isn't regarding the actual money side. We are talking about this as fans. Is this a failed experiment? Where it helps to just have WrestleMania take over your TV for a day, rather than this, like, oh, that night was fun, I have another show of wrestling to watch.
No, it's only a failed experiment if you don't like the product, which, in that case, what are you doing here?
Hi, my name's
Cody. Yeah.
Or if you don't fill up the arena with, I mean, even say like the 60 number is inflated, you put 50,000+ people in a football stadium 2 nights in a row. On top of that, you bring more wrestling fans to your NXT show, not to mention your Raw after Mania, T-Mobile, your even SmackDown after Mania, and even the NXT after Mania. Like, all of these, like, I mean, if you're going to give them this much license to print money, because now it's not about the wrestlers anymore. We're not being sold by Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're not being sold by The Rock. We're not being sold by Hogan. We're not being sold by any big star. We're being sold the brand of WrestleMania.
They Disney-fied it. They did exactly what Disney did with Marvel and celebrities. What Anthony Mackie said about celebrities, there's no celebrity anymore. You're coming to see Captain America. You're coming to see Iron Man. Same thing of WWE. You're not coming to see The Rock or Stone Cold or Roman Reigns even. You're coming to see WWE. You're coming to see WrestleMania or whatever product it is. And whoever shows up. It's like a box of mismatched toys.
I don't know. I understand that I do not have the popular opinion here, because wrestling fans at this point are the most fucking business-oriented fucking idiots that exist. Like,
I don't even read comments anymore.
But if in strict terms, as a fan, I would rather have it set up in such a way as a fandom overall to say, like, hey, let's have like a Super Bowl party. Let's get in for one night. Let's get situated. Let's order pizza. Let's come in. I'm not inviting you to my house over 2 nights. That's fucking weird.
Like, Sunday, I just need to relax. Like, cool. Like, Saturday,
we're going to sleepover. The sleepover is back. Get your friends over. Pull your mattress out into the living room and we're watching wrestling.
No, and I get what you're saying, Tony. Like, I mean, the business is going to, like, if you're going to show them more green, they're going to take it. That I get. But I get what you're saying about, like, how much easier is it for fatigue to set in? Like, do I have any desire to watch Backlash right now after watching a whole basically week's worth of shows just on content on just the WWE side, let alone if I'm there watching Ring of Honor or CZW or whatever other smaller promotion shows up. Not to mention, I didn't watch the Hall of Fame. I didn't watch the roast. I didn't
I didn't even bother
all of that does, yes, create a definite amount of fatigue.
From what I hear, the
So
roast
that
was
I
a bit of a trash fire, so I kind of need to seek that out. I sought out one trash fire, which was Minoru Suzuki against Butterbean.
Oh,
Which-
what?
Random.
which F4W
Was it-
Online called the worst wrestling match of all time, and yeah, kind of.
Was it a shoot or was it just?
No, it's a wrestling match, but Butterbean can barely walk.
Oh no.
There's a portion where Butterbean
Man.
needs to take a bump, and he like sets himself up against the ropes, and he holds the top rope and like just kind of lays down, then holds the second rope and lays down a bit, and then just lays down. It's like, oh, what power Minoru Suzuki has.
Just fighting gravity and losing.
I mean, why would you watch that? Just go get their autograph. Let them sign a sheet of paper and remember what was. We don't need. Like, I can remember Butterbean knocking out Bart Gunn. I don't need to see what he's going to do 25 years later.
Don't Mike Tyson yourself, please. Please don't.
No, exactly right.
I want to remember what was.
But anyway, the side stuff aside, I didn't watch any of the pre-show stuff because, quite frankly, I know it's always garbage. And the less Sam Roberts I see on my TV, the better.
They got me this year, though, because apparently the pre-show is where all the video packages are. Because on the main show itself, it just cuts the commercial every time there's some kind of recap. So I had no clue what most of the feuds were about, except for what I saw from like a few months ago. So I just had to like piece it together. I normally depend on them for that. I depend on them to like catch me up, or even if I'm watching with someone else, I go, "Hey, look, this is the part you missed. Now you can watch this every week with me, and this is what you're missing out on." But they didn't have that this year, so it felt like watching AEW. Like, here's a match, here's another match, here's another match. Okay, it's over. We're done.
If WWE insists on keeping Peacock as a provider for WrestleMania, and Peacock insists on putting ads over the video packages, they need to bring back the second screen experience from like the WrestleMania 28 and 29 days. Just have me get out my phone. It's like, oh, the video package is here.
I will gladly watch it on my phone, but I crave those video packages. Like the wrestling editors are the best editors in the world. They'll get me hyped up for the shittiest match and the shittiest feud. And I'm pretty sure they're why I've been watching wrestling all these decades.
Well, and this is the biggest compliment on top of that point, what you're saying, Marlon, is the biggest compliment I can give WWE for the build up to WrestleMania is their YouTube, which realistically is probably the best part of their entertainment right now is their YouTube channel. Is YouTube one, they're doing like the under promoted matches or the underrated matches on their WWE Vault, but they also did a countdown of the 50 greatest WrestleMania matches, which and like there are some that are clogged with recency bias for sure. Like I wouldn't put last year's night one tag match in the top 50, but like there were some good match, like, so it was like fun, like, hey, I'm watching like this match, like number 46, close your ears, Tony, was the Boneyard match. So I was like, yeah, I get to watch the Boneyard match again.
No,
number 10 is like,
yeah, what I would consider as disqualifying is where was the once in a lifetime Rock versus Cena original from WrestleMania 28?
28. It's in there. It's so long because they keep the musical packages. So you see all of Machine Gun Kelly and Flo Rida as musical intros. So the whole video is like well over an hour. Although the wrestling match is only like 20 minutes.
If that is anywhere near like the top 15, then that's
no,
a disqualified list.
It might be in the top 30. I'm pretty sure it's in the top 30. It's not in the top 15 though. Because I mean, realistically, you have to put that one in there because that's their most bought pay-per-view I think ever. Was that one?
That makes sense.
28. Because that match was hyped for a year.
That's also the door to this modern era, I would say. That you like I think it deserves to be in the top 50, but anywhere like near the upper half, I would say no. Like
no. And number one was Michaels against Undertaker from 25, which I mean I'm not as high on as other people, but it's a good match. 2 is WrestleMania 13, which now instead of inducting a celebrity, we induct the matches into the Hall of Fame, which is cool.
Because we need to get
Nope,
Bret Hart.
I hate that. It's a stupid idea.
They got salty Bret Hart. You can like, I saw on the one Stevie Richards show is like, you can. He's not even sugarcoating that he hates Triple H anymore.
Old guys hate Triple H. That's how the dude at the gym greets me all the time now. He doesn't even say hi or Marlon. It's like, comes up to me, I fucking hate what Triple H is doing. Just every time I walk through the door, and he just goes on this whole rant about Raw. Like, yeah, all the things you hate, I love. I can't agree with you. I'm sorry.
You could, I know. Like, if you could, like, build up Bret Hart's true nightmare after, like, in 1998, it would be, I mean, like, what happens to my brother a year later, and on top of that, like, you're going to tell me I'm going to come back in 30 years and the two guys I despise the most in the business are running the show?
Yeah.
And owning the show.
Like, Bret Hart is proofer into bad reality. Like, I don't know what happened, but all the bad guys won in our reality. Like, I love Triple H. I love the Clique.
I love
admit they're a bunch of douchebags from the 90s, right? Like, they did some douchey shit, and they all just won out in the end.
Like, NXT is not perfect by any means, but, like, I don't hate what Michaels is doing with NXT. I don't, like, I mean, at some point, you can't just, like, prove everyone's up and coming. We have, like, the guys on the main show that were NXT in the past, and now they've moved on, and now NXT just, now it does feel like I'm watching a wrestling school.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I have no clue who these people are, now I feel like the old guy. I feel like an old perv watching these kids. I have no idea who these guys are.
Okay, so let's talk matches. So night one, we start with Jey Uso against Gunther. And
Gunther carried that match. Like Gunther does.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jey Uso, who's chosen to win the Royal Rumble and it to be an afterthought. It is Edge in WrestleMania 27. It is, you get the opener, here you go, here's your main event title reign.
Or like Sheamus in 28 the next year, where he just kicks Daniel Bryan and that match lasts 30 seconds. Cool. Yep. Like, face the best worker in the world, or even Rollins when Rollins won Mania and opened the show with Lesnar because Lesnar wanted to go home.
Like, you got to prove my point here. Isn't this kind of a tradition at this point? If you win the Royal Rumble, you're going to open WrestleMania.
No.
I'm like struggling to remember. I'm struggling to remember the last time I saw someone win a Royal Rumble and main evented WrestleMania. But I also have a shitty memory.
Well, from
the last 2 years,
from 27 and 28, you had obviously you had the winner open the show. Then you had 29 where Cena won and Cena closed it. And then you had 30 where Batista won and closed it.
31 was Reigns, closed it.
Yeah. So
32 was Triple H, closed it because that was for the title. I don't even remember. Oh, no, 33 I think is where. No, is 33 where Rollins? No. 33 I think Rollins wrestles Triple H. Who? Oh no, that was Brock against Roman. I don't even know who won the Royal Rumble that year, to tell you the truth.
All right. So I just have an easier time remembering the ones that opened WrestleMania than the ones that closed for some reason.
That's because there was a lot of bad in there. Don't forget, the worst part of WrestleMania used to be the main event for like almost a decade.
Well, I mean, that's because we had the old Roman being put over what nobody wanted. And like this match, it's, I mean, you get Jey Uso's entrance and you get Jey Uso winning. Like, it's built to be a moment, right? Like, it's not really like Gunther's there going through the motions. And I think he's just like, well, like, I'm on the first match and then I'm done for the weekend. So until I can go on Monday and choke out Pat McAfee.
It is a match that is there, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, everyone knew the result already, so what was the point of this? Like, this whole feud was building up to a moment. Like, Gunther wasn't going to win. That would be amazing if Gunther won. I'd have laughed my friggin' ass off if all that led to Gunther winning. But of course he lost. It was about Jey Uso's moment.
I mean, realistically, Jey Uso is probably the most over person in the company. Like, just
it's a catchphrase. He's Poochie.
It's certainly not Cody.
It's not Cody.
It is definitely not Cody. So Joey, you cannot see this, but on the Twitch channel in the lower portion I used the original one that Andy made, Marwin. I didn't use the ones that you made just because I didn't want Cody with big naturals that AI decided to make.
I did that.
but it's just the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like why are people not having a good time? I specifically requested this.
Yeah.
Just in reference to Cody. But
he's like pure John Cena face. Like whatever you hated about John Cena being a face, being bland, milquetoast, he's that times a million. He's KO Ken John Cena at this point.
I will get into Cody when we actually get to that match, but for another match that's there, the New Day tag match, like do we even need to talk about this?
Yay, heel New Day. And I mean they're more entertaining than the War Raiders, so cool.
What sucks because I love the War Raiders over in NXT, but on the main roster they're another group they have had no clue what to do with. For some reason they have these stellar riders on NXT. Then they bring someone like Finn Balor to the main roster, like freaking question marks. Like, no clue what to do with him. But he was great for years.
I think it's because NXT can sell the tag matches, whereas the tag matches on the main show are usually an afterthought. Like, you usually don't have long tag matches on the big show. Like, I mean, it was the only reason why we had that 2 years ago is because the Usos were part of the bloodline. So you had the most entertaining aspect. And Sami Zayn was just also part of the bloodline, so they tied into that main storyline that's the reason why tag matches were on the forefront then. But even now they're just kind of the afterthought, whereas like NXT, like the Fraxium match is good on the NXT show, and all they have to do is sell the match.
I feel like someone has overwritten Triple H. Triple H likes his tag team wrestling. We learned that from the golden age of NXT. So I think someone on the TKO board is saying like, no, we like the Vince McMahon way of doing things, that tag matches are just something that is there to exist and not something that you should actually take seriously.
I think he's just overworked. I think he has too many spinning plates right now, so tag teams are getting hit. Even the tag teams, they've had better storylines, like the New Day's having a pretty good heel turn right now. But the matches themselves, they feel like they're doing the same beats they have since I was a kid. While NXT felt fresh and new, the tag matches here feel like, oh, and now here these guys are going to win for a bit. All right, and now these guys are going to win for a bit. And these guys win, yeah, surprise. And it's over. You could predict it.
It's hard to, I mean, the one thing is like you're in a business that's trying to create singular stars. And it is hard to do usually in a tag match because you don't want one guy to overshadow the other on the same team. But, I mean...
It's ridiculous because there's plenty of great tag teams that, like the Acolytes, the friggin' the Legion of Doom. There's people who are stars as teams. It works out sometimes. They don't have to be solo stars. I don't get the whole mentality.
And you're right that it can like grow. Like again, Jey Uso's your champion now.
Yeah,
you can do it.
You need a specific sort of person that wants to tie their career with someone else as well. And WWE's culture is not built for that. WWE's culture is not built for, brothers to be in there like the Young Bucks, or even FTR to be in there.
They're more of what we're thinking of since we're WWE, but I get what you're saying.
But even they split up.
But you're right in that it's a culture of competition. It always is going to be. Every time we hear about like how like cutthroat the 80s would be and people protecting their spots, or we talk about even the Attitude Era where guys were like, no, we were fighting to get on TV. We were fighting to do this. We knew that we had to make this segment work, and we like the pressure is always there. So there's this inherent competitiveness. So yes, there is a drive to like, it's very hard to look out for someone else when you're fighting for the same spot yourself.
Hell, I am pretty sure that if Big E was still healthy, the New Day would stay like a trio of faces. They seem to really want to.
They can talk. They can talk, so I can see them still being heels, but I don't think they would have broken up. Yeah.
Okay.
Over the heels of Biggie.
Moving on with Jade Cargill against Naomi. Jade Cargill hasn't gotten better since her AEW days. I'm glad that Naomi has. Naomi's gotten a lot better since even, obviously I came back into wrestling during the WrestleMania 28-29 time. And yeah, Naomi is like night and day by comparison.
You're comparing when she was a funkette. And not
I am. But at the same time, like, Jade Cargill has had half that time frame to come up, has had the best trainers available to her. I doubt Naomi has had the best trainers this entire time.
Yeah. Probably not.
It's the same.
Naomi had to make her bones in TNA for a short time.
Her progress is a straight line.
That happens.
But Jade definitely at the end of the match drops Naomi right on her face.
Yeah,
right on her face. So again, I mean, I wanted more from this because the hype surrounding it like made it fun. Like the story being told, like made sense. You felt the emotion, but yep. Then that bell had to ring.
That's WrestleMania in a nutshell. Like every WrestleMania, you've summed up every match in the history of WrestleMania. I don't care how good it is. You've summed it up. And that damn bell had to ring. Ruin.
No, and I mean that will sum up the main event, but we'll get there too. But yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, the hype is always better than a match in wrestling, at least in WWE.
Yeah. My annoyance with Jade Cargill's lack of progress aside, and this was even AEW. But Jacob Fatu against LA Knight.
What it had to be.
It is a match that is there. LA Knight, Eli Drake. I will still know him as Eli Drake. Oh man, someone please needs to drain him. Like just
what?
He is so roided up. Like between him and AJ Styles, who is the more roidy?
No more.
AJ said on Chris Van Fleet, it's just fasting.
Sure.
He just water fasts for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So like all of that fat melts away.
Fasting on nothing but steroids.
But I will say LA Knight, like his momentum is kind of subsided for sure. And this match was what it had to be. This had to be Jacob Fatu, like on his way to becoming a monster.
Yeah.
So
yeah. They did great. And I love Jacob Fatu.
Like
it's fine for me.
This was never going to steal the show. This was just about, we need a new title holder.
Yeah. And it's a good way to push LA Knight up. Like if we need another guy for the main event now you have LA Knight in the wings. You could throw him at somebody. Yeah. I always support it. It's also why I support Gunther losing the title as well. Now you could throw him in some other amazing feuds. Let Jey Uso do whatever for a bit.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have nothing else to say in the match other than just Eli Drake. LA Knight looks inflated. Like he looks like he is wearing a muscle suit.
But like, no, yeah, the match isn't bad. The match is what it needs to be. It's not like anything to write home about. It's your what did you used to say, 3-star Cody? Like this is
we get like, worse than 3-star Cody.
Well, like 2.5, 3 stars. Like just be what I need you to be on like the lower end of a pay-per-view, and don't steal the spotlight and do what you have to do. Pass the title. Cool.
Yep, just get us through this. Man.
Speaking of stealing the spotlight, El Grande Americano against Rey Fenix.
I liked this match.
I loved this match.
Okay, thank you.
This was a return to the old Fark thread thing of John Cena in a mask called Juan Cena.
Well, you certainly should have won.
I will say the best thing we got out of this was the internet meme of like we found the true identity of El Grande Americano, and it's just Vince McMahon. That was awesome. But no, like this match, one, I mean, feel bad for Rey Mysterio, but then they got to tell the story of like, oh, Rey Mysterio went up and told Dominic, I guess you're the only Mysterio that's going to be on the WrestleMania card this year. And he's like, yeah, it was always going to be that way. Like, one, Dom, you're a son of a bitch. But you get like
top heel.
Chad Gable. Chad Gable is a treasure. He's a tremendous wrestler. This got let Ray Phoenix showcase like at least some of his talent. And like, and the storytelling throughout the match was goofy, but it was fun. Like, like this was the third best match of the night one. And I mean, and given night two is probably the third best match of WrestleMania.
I disagree, but we'll talk about night two.
No, Chad Gable is great. I don't think you can form a promotion around him, but he is in every single match I've seen him in, he is great. I like how he has a sense of humor about things. Dude has an infinite ceiling in the mid card.
Yep. He's an Olympian. His shortfall is he's as tall as I am. He's only 5'8".
Maybe a huge character change.
It works here with Ray Phoenix, but the sad thing is he's not afraid to like be the heel and get heat because he knows, like, I think he knows most of the internet wrestling community love him. So like he can make anything work and he'll have like some people behind him, while at the same time being hated by people like Jim Cornette.
I don't even value.
Why are we even listening to Jim Cornette at this point? Like,
I'm surprised you brought his name up.
Why does YouTube insist on anytime I watch any sort of wrestling content, it's just like, oh, what does Jim Cornette think about this match? Like, I don't fucking care.
Who cares?
Hide.
Hide video. Like it or not, he is the highest rated or most listened to wrestling podcast. That is why.
It's weird because it's. I was gonna say it's weird because it's wrestling, but we're doing it right now. We're doing a wrestling podcast right now. I can't say.
Because wrestling is built on nostalgia. We can remember OVW, and he's still like the guy in OVW, and that's why people will continue, because he's still credited with John Cena, Batista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, and Randy Orton, and all of those names. So that's why he's continued.
He hasn't done anything since, though. That's what he's known for.
He's the same as Bischoff.
Well,
it's like, oh, if you want to make money, you do this. Like, you haven't made money in 20 years.
Yeah, I don't see the point of like really listening to those guys, or like, what's his face, Russo. Like, what's the point of talking to these guys? Like, it's over. You had your chance. You made it worse. You made everything worse, and then you left. Now we're listening to you. There's no point. Here's what I would have done. We know what you would have did. It sucks. We're glad you're gone. You don't need a podcast about it.
You're not wrong, but it's still it's because we're talking about a business where we'll still always be the outsider.
Yeah.
What do the other carnies say about the carnival business? It's basically what it is.
I want to know Ryback's opinion of.
Oh.
Yes. Bring back Ryback.
I treasure Ryback's opinion more than I do Jim Cornette.
Get that man off his ocean buoy that he's living in probably the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Bring him back next Royal Rumble. Let's do it. Let's see what happens.
No, please God, no.
Bring back Ryback into Boogeyman and just have a ball.
The problem is he'll go into business for himself, injure everybody, and win. That's what
1 second, I'm posting on Blue Sky #FeedMeMore. So
it would work though.
Oh no. That's what we need. CM Punk to quit again.
Yes, we do. Please. No,
his first match used to be against CM.
Hold me back tears. That was funny. But please, on a serious note, please God, no.
You need more Ryback. Hashtag feed us more.
Like, if they was worst WrestleMania matches, his match, who did he wrestle?
Mark Henry?
Mark Henry in WrestleMania 29 was so goddamn bad. And it's, oh, gee, I wonder who could have predicted this would be trash. Everybody.
What?
I disagree. I think the match was great because Mark Henry came out to his someone's gonna get their ass kicked theme, and that immediately makes the match 4 stars.
No, he might have won. Maybe he did beat Ryback.
No, Mark Henry won because Ryback tried to pick him up, and Mark Henry was too heavy, and he fell on him. That was the finish.
Who keeps approving that goddamn finish? We've had it
Vince
so
McMahon.
many times now. It's not a good finish.
That man is named Vince McMahon, Marlon. He has been a mainstay in wrestling for quite a while.
And so he just couldn't pick him up. Yep, and that's it. Anyone, the match is over.
Now there's just a chair with his name on it, and we're not sure if he's coming back. We're afraid he will, but
he won't. He can't at this point. He'll just be on UFC events with The Undertaker with his cane.
I was very hard on April Fool's Day when it was like, oh, Vince McMahon spent his WWE shares to buy TNA. It's like, oh no, that's just plausible enough.
That would be hilarious, though.
Okay.
I can see him doing that.
Moving on to Charlotte against Timothy Stratton. Best part about this match was Timothy Stratton's entrance.
Who is Timothy Stratton?
Oh, Tiffany Stratton, or whatever.
Timothy Stratton, from Dude.
She's from Minnesota. She's from Prior Lake.
The respect on her name. Respected old big face over there.
I mean, I will say one, because this storyline went so off the rails, it kind of like turned into something, because that one promo was so ridiculous between the two of them.
That was enough to get my attention.
So it got your attention, and then this match just turned into just an ass whipping, where like to their credit, one, Tiffy hung in there. Because she had the knot on her head, she had the broken tooth. I don't know if she'd already broken a tooth already, but and even in the press conference, you could see the bruises on her face. And Charlotte chopped the hell out of her, and to the end, because I think they called. Because if I had to guess, if the plan would have been before that promo, it would have been for Charlotte to get over. But because the crowd made clear, we're kind of over Charlotte's anointing again, because we've seen this before, we've been here, so we want Stratton, and so I think they hey, let's continue to roll with Tiffany Stratton, because we can always go back to Charlotte.
Because they didn't have a choice.
We think we can always go back.
You watched the same promo I did after that bomb about her divorces, that she just dropped it and rolled out the ring. Yeah, there's no way you could have Stratton lose after that. So she had some knots coming. I was surprised seeing the after pictures. That was going to happen. Actually, you said that shit on live television.
Mm-hmm. That being said, I think the record needs to show that Charlotte Flair cannot call a match for her life. I think of all the good matches that Charlotte was involved with, and in general, she normally has someone elevating her. So.
I know, because I'm willing to bet the matches with Rhea she calls.
And the matches with Rhea were bad. Generally, every single match with Charlotte and Rhea were terrible when you consider the level of talent that both of them have.
No, the Charlotte Rhea matches are really good. The WrestleMania 36 one is just quick. I think it's only 12 minutes long. It's not that long. But their one a couple years later, I think either 38 or 39, was really good. But I mean, you're right in that, I don't know if she's calling the triple threat with her and Becky and Ronda. I wouldn't even know who would have been calling the match at 32 with her and Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. So
that was a good match. Just put Becky Lynch in your match, you have a good match.
but then I'll give you like she's working with somebody else, so it's a little easier to like when you have somebody else like, hey, I can rest for a bit while two other people kind of share the spotlight, and I'll come back and get the crowd riled up. But I will say her matches with Rhea are really good, and this match is not bad. Like I don't think this match is bad. I just think this match is stiff as fuck. Like that's where, and so like where you can say like Charlotte. I don't know if like maybe we did let it turn a little bit like you turned the story into a shoot because like if Marlon said you had some receipts coming, or if it was just like I'm going to anoint you, but like a way to put you over in front of this crowd is to beat the dog shit out of you. Because I will say like, it worked. I'm a bigger fan of Tiffany Stratton after this match, mostly because of the beating she took and their level of respect I had for her showing up there and getting her. Now, like they were putting hype behind Tiffany Stratton's entrance. I'm like, okay, it's a WrestleMania entrance. We've seen this many times before. Yeah. But again, what impressed me was just going in there and basically going into Stu Hart's dungeon and getting stretched. You have my respect.
Which needed to happen because Charlotte came in there and crapped over Rhea Ripley like what twice, 3 times. She beat Asuka. She ended her freaking streak.
That's a good match.
Like if you're gonna have Stratton win, it better be in the toughest match we've ever seen in her life. Charlotte dominating for 90% of the match. It made sense because if Stratton won any other way, I would have lost it. You can't beat Asuka. You can't end Asuka's streak and then lose to Stratton of all people. You got to make that look good, which kudos, she did. She made it look horrific. It was great.
Look horrific. Holy cow. Like just seeing her like walk up, and I mean, I'm curious to think what you're on the other side, Tony, but like you see her walk up again, big bruise on her head, busted tooth, and she's just like, oh, like don't open your mouth. Oh, that looks like it hurts.
I am the one who's going to have the Andy opinion where that's incredibly unprofessional, and that should not fly. Like if you're in such a heavily corporatized environment, like no, this is not like fucking what's his face Bloodsport. This isn't like, oh, AEW's a big mud show. It's just the lunatics running the asylum. No, you have it right here. So suddenly the WWE fans are all like, oh, this is gravitas. This is real. This has a sponsored entrance from Mattel. That tells you it's important. Fuck
was
off.
It sponsored by Mattel?
It was sponsored by Mattel, and that makes the entrance worse, to be honest.
So let's have the kids watch this girl get her ass beat.
Now she definitely needs a Barbie with the chipped tooth and the bruise knot on her head.
I will say, I didn't know this sponsored by Mattel. That makes me laugh. Like, here, kids, just watch this ass whooping. It's not quite the Domino's pizza cutter from Jericho, but it's getting near there.
Some kid like, stop, she's already dead.
I think the benefit of I'd like to think that there had to be some like talk backstage, but like, okay, we're going to lay this in. This is how we make this work. And Tiffy had to agree to it. So I don't think Tiffany goes into that match and be like, I'm just going to like, hey, like I'm taking an ass whooping. I'm just going to sit here and roll with it. Because the one thing, because I would say if it came to that, I would like to think she'd start laying shots in on Charlotte, and you really don't see that. Like you see Tiffy take her ass beating, and then in the end she gets her prettiest moonsault ever and wins the match.
Yeah, that's because she stayed professional. He stayed the bigger person, which I got to give her kudos to her and that. Like after all the bullshit said between them, he's like, nope, I'll take my ass whooping. See, I'm not the one doing it. That's all her.
Yeah, if both of them suddenly started shooting, you just get that terrible, like, was it a Nia Jax match or just like a scuffle that she had with Charlotte where they just kind of like did a little slap fight and then just kind of stopped?
Oh, yeah.
Or like with Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar, like I think Braun Strowman accidentally hits Brock for real. So Brock just stares at him.
And Brock just gave him 2 quick shots, like, you don't do it.
What do you do?
Okay.
You just need a legit shoot fighter right in the face, so he just kind of told you what's up quick.
Okay, it's time for the main event of night one. Triple threat with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. Personally, I think CM Punk was kind of an afterthought in this match. It felt that way. I'm glad that they added that they put it into the storyline. Paul Heyman found a way to salvage it. Good job.
Yeah.
But
Heyman was the linchpin of this storyline.
It seemed a little bit like we're making sure to not do anything like big or massive to CM Punk because he has bones made of porcelain.
The best porcelain in the world.
I don't even know if it was that, but I agree with you that because you've been telling this Seth Roman story since last year, if not even farther before that.
Further than that, yeah.
They always have to go all the way back to the Shield. Part of me was hoping you'd get Moxley somehow.
Yeah, I really was.
WWE signed a one-night deal for Moxley to show up and just throw a chair into the ring and then just leave, because that would be. But I mean, because we've been telling the CM Punk storyline for a year or two, so it factors in. The problem is that you build it up this is all about his Mania match or his main event spotlight at WrestleMania, but then you have the In Living Color bring him up, well, he's gonna lose.
Yeah, that's what I heard twice, guys. Yes.
Most of the time when you have the live band singing you into your entrance music, you're not winning.
You're not winning.
The only time I can really think of was Rhea last year.
Yeah, that's your consolation prize. It's supposed to be your consolation prize.
Well, you can't count WrestleMania 28 when they both had live bands playing them in, because someone's going to lose there. That's a 50-50 shot. That's Steiner.
But the live bands play them into the songs of the performers. It's not like MGK saying "My Time Is Now," and it's not like Flo Rida was doing the electrifying
Yeah, that was bullshit. By the way, they just played your song and then the wrestler came out. Not the same.
It's because they get their separate video packages. I do not like.
Now, granted, most of the time, when we think of live bands playing out wrestlers, most of the time we're thinking it's Triple H with Motorhead, and Triple H was there at WrestleMania to lose, except for of course at 19. But it's a story for another day.
I always like those entrances because Lemmy obviously does not remember any lyrics to that Triple H theme song.
Yeah, it's like listening to Vince Neil from Motley Crue.
They always seem to care less at WrestleMania for some reason. They'll have stellar performances all over the world, touring many countries. Come to WrestleMania, just garbage. And it's every band for some reason. They always stumble at WrestleMania.
They're just playing like a corporate gig. These fans aren't here for them. So what do they care? They're just playing a corporate gig. It's like playing for a company. It's like playing a company party.
Yeah, you're at a corporate wedding or something. I don't know these kids.
But I mean,
who cares?
Everyone is great in this match. CM Punk is the best afterthought in this match. He does the best at being an afterthought. But yeah, I give kudos to Roman. He has taken John Cena, completely disemboweling him on live television in 2017 and turned that into an actual character and has made it incredibly compelling. Some people should learn from this, and his name is Cody Rhodes.
Well, I mean, we'll get into John Cena disemboweling you on live TV because that does happen to Cody later. But I agree with you, and I mean, COVID. We talk about COVID was probably the worst things to happen to Drew McIntyre because his run kind of just got decimated by it. But Roman really got built by COVID because he was able to come back and be the wreck everything and leave. And then they're associated with Paul Heyman. And so he gets billed as the ultimate badass, but he's a heel, which he needed the heel run anyway. but it's kind of hard to root against the heel that just beats the shit out of people. And clean at that. And on top of that, he learned to sell. He's probably he's getting up there with his selling of moves is getting up there with like Dolph Ziggler. Like
I think he spent all this time off learning how to sell.
Yeah.
Just dropping himself on the mat for a year over and over again. I'll get it.
This is how I beat cancer. Boom. Boom.
Like, oh, yeah, that works. Yeah, cancer's got it. Just keep stabbing yourself on a mat. You body stab cancer.
But my only like little notes on it is like it's a little too over the top at the end. But I mean that's neither here.
It's WWE.
Yeah, it's pantomime. It's like
you got to sell the story.
Although cheap seats.
Did anybody Did anybody think like when all of a sudden at the very end, when Heyman's walking behind Seth and he's giving that same look, I'm like, oh, Brock Lesnar's coming out.
That'd be funny. I was hoping a little bit. I was hoping for a whole train.
Like, oh, that pop. Like, nope. Like, Heyman just turns on everybody and then Lesnar's there to just clean house. But so we didn't get that.
Also, have they said character-wise why Heyman decided to back Seth at this point? Like, is he just like the bloodline is stale at this point, or
he's sick of the other two? Yeah, I mean, basically, like sick of the other two, and I'm hitching my. And I mean, now they've attached spoiler on the following month. Do you guys know what happened the following Monday or the next day?
No, because
what's his name? Braun Breaker.
Yeah, part of the stable, and then they were adding. I think they added a third on Friday, but I don't know who that was. I was like, oh, it's probably Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch now just turned heel.
Yeah, I think it is Becky Lynch, which is amazing. So now we got evil Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins,
along with Braun Breaker.
It's gonna be great, and Braun Breaker. I mean,
so basically, what you're going to get in 2 years is you're going to get at WrestleMania 43, we're going to get Seth Rollins against Braun Breaker.
So this storyline is basically what people wanted the Blackpool Combat Club to be.
Pretty much.
We wanted.
Triple H is watching AEW like, what aren't they doing? All right, let's just do that.
Now is a good time to do this because we see night one headlined by one of the people that we credit with AEW running off, right? Mm-hmm. For CM Punk. And then you see Rusev come to WWE on Monday. You see Ricky Saints now on NXT opening the show. And now you saw Malachi Black showed back up to dropkick The Miz on Friday. Like, let's talk about, like, we can like the triple threat, but this mania is just, like you said, it's formulaic. It's cookie cutter because they don't need to take chances anymore because the competition just hasn't been there.
No.
Like, everyone on the AEW side, like, not many people are fans of the Death Rider segments. The Young Bucks have just come back, but people are kind of like, ho hum. Kenny Omega finally came back. Okada is like, I don't know if Okada's going through the motions. The matches I've seen him in have just been kind of like definitely not New Japan Okada. Ospreay's good.
He's pulling a Nakamura.
Wrestling Kyle paycheck. Like, yeah. Like, no, I mean,
Swerve is good, Hangman is good, but there's no.
But they're not wrestling for the title.
Yeah, it's the standard. It is the standard AEW problem of Tony Khan seems to have been unable to delegate things and have a lot more straighten your tie moments on things that he's potentially not as much interested in. And that's just created a problem. Really, like, AEW's fall is to blame on 3 people, and 2 of them are on this show in WrestleMania 41. But the main one is on Tony Khan. It goes to the executive. It's a failure at the executive level. The buck stops with him. Be it as it may. Yeah. But on the other side, you have Cody Rhodes and you have CM Punk. Cody Rhodes, who did not want to turn heel on a crowd that was turning against him. That seems familiar to what seems to be happening on this show as well, or at least it's apathy. So we just jump ship and take a payday running the same character, because at least WWE, if the crowd doesn't follow along with what your character's supposed to be, they just force it down your throats until you just die through attrition. And then there's CM Punk, who touts himself as, you know, the worker's worker and all of this other bullshit. And at the end of the day, you just want a payday. You're just out for yourself. Like, I'm completely fine, because in any single circumstance, like, I would do what Cody did, what CM Punk did in their shoes. Like, it is better for them as an individual. But if you want wrestling to be better, there needs to be competition, and those three people made wrestling objectively worse over the past 5 years.
Is it just because you feel like they created like the monopoly? Now WWE has all the big names, and while at the same time being able to shit on the other promotion.
They've just sucked all the oxygen out of the discipline, out of the room completely.
Because I will agree, like,
we're back to WrestleMania 29 times.
Because I would agree, or I would say even worse, maybe even 32. I would say 32. Like, that's because, or even 27, because 27 really happened when TNA started subsiding. Like, TNA was good. So, like, WrestleMania 22 is good. WrestleMania 23 is good. 24 because that's when TNA started kind of going, like, TNA, they began to realize pose no threat. Hogan and Bischoff were there, and you got the politicking and the infighting. And now you got the same thing. Where I would agree with you, Tony, like, once CM Punk left, like, what became one of the biggest social media stories last year was CM Punk going on Ariel Helwani, and for lack of a better term, like, shitting on AEW because he's telling his side of the story. But what do we think? We think AEW is a joke. And now, again, I, like you, I'm going to blame Tony Khan, but it doesn't look good for competition, and it doesn't force WWE to get better when you're making it known that the other competition was just embarking on some sort of basically just political infighting, and nobody knows, like, how to handle the situation, because nobody wants to watch that. Like, I don't know because there can be no consistent storyline when you're making it known, like, hey, it's these three people and the rest is just there. Like, I can be happy for Toni Storm and what she's doing. Like, some of it I think is a little over the top, but at least she's made a name for herself.
Yeah.
But, like, everybody else, like Mercedes Moné, for who should be and still to me is one of the best workers in the world, like, there's nothing surrounding her except that she's just supposed to win. Like, they don't build any story. You build the dream match. But again, like, so, because like you said, Tony Khan is still telling the Swerve and Hangman story, yes, is still good, but they're not fighting for the title. Instead, we get Death Riders. So then it looks like Moxley's running the show. And I get it, because he's the ex-WWE name. But then again, you run into that trap of, like, we're just the island of cast-offs. Like, oh, we need Edge. We need Christian. And as much as I like Christian and Edge, like, you still just make yourself look like you're second tier. And now, and because of this, you let WWE, again, we talked about this. This is the WrestleMania of complacency. And there is no better evidence of that than what do we have at Backlash as our main event? We have, and people are excited for it because it's been a long time, but we get Randy Orton versus John Cena. 11 years ago at the Royal Rumble, those two, we were so sick of it, they booed them out of the building. But we have it now 11 years later. Yeah. Like, because, again, complacency. Who can we put together? Oh, yeah. The two guys that have been staples of the company forever that have wrestled each other 100 times.
Plus, they're different now. They're so much different. Cena and Randy Orton now are so much different than they were decades ago.
I would say it's full circle, Marlon.
It's gonna be awesome. Randy Orton's huge.
Yeah.
It's like twice the size of who you are.
You guys can keep talking. I can hear you.
I'm not depressed or anything. I'm just kind of bummed overall, because the wrestling this reminds me of the like wrestling fandom is the worst thing to happen to wrestling in general. It's like when on Twitter way back when I forgot when this was, but Kat Dennings was like, "Hey, I want to get into wrestling," and then wrestling fans just made it super weird. It's like, oh, never.
Oh no. We had our chance. That's what fans. It's in the name, fanatic. Fanatics always make things weird. Comic book fanatics, movie fanatics, wrestling fanatics. You go to them about anything, you're gonna make it gross and weird.
But if there was anything that I want to take away from the wrestling fandom, like that, we are putting a moratorium on talking about the business of pro wrestling for like 2 years. We can only talk about storylines.
That's fair. Because no, but you're right. Like, because how do we make it better? Like, how do we make us where we want to keep watching you fix the storyline? Like, we can sit there and bitch about the storyline, but unfortunately, we're still going to watch WrestleMania because at this point, we've been watching it since we were 10 years old.
Because the storyline is good. They Dragon Ball Z'd me. Like, it's how they kept me going through the Boo saga for so long. Like, you know what? I've been watching this long. I might as well finish. I might as well see where these characters are going. And that's kind of what it is here. It kept me through Power Rangers for years as well. Like, I wanted to see where these guys are going, what Tommy's doing for different ones. And now it's happening here as well. I want to see how these guys have developed. And that's why they have John Cena and Randy Orton again. Everyone's curious to see how that's going to turn out. Like they have us hooked into the storyline. You got to see how it ends. You got to finish the story. Even if it has some low points, which to me, the entire early 2000s was the lowest point. And I managed to get through that. So everything here now is great.
Yeah, and again, like you can say it. Maybe we were part of it. Like Tony and I, you and I debated plenty of times. Like I was the WWE apologist on our show. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you would be the AEW apologist. But like you don't know like how good you had. And I even said like I still want AEW to succeed because this is what we get. We know what we get. Because again, I was the TNA fan. I loved TNA. I thought TNA at one point would overtake WWE. I was wrong and jaded. But then again, what did I see when TNA subsided? We got WrestleMania 27. And now like you, I am just as scared of getting the next 3 WrestleManias like we did from pretty much 32 to 35, getting like, like I'm still watching, but this is just 6 hours of slog.
Right. Like they need the storyline to keep it going. They at least had the Undertaker streak before, but ever since they've lost that, and now they don't really have the bloodline going anymore. Now what? Like things kind of ended last WrestleMania, and now they're not really sure what to do. We're in a post-Endgame world, unfortunately, and the same thing that happened to Marvel is happening to WWE. They don't know what to do here. So we gotta wait and see.
Put the strap back on Roman, I guess. I don't know.
Bring back Raw Underground is obviously what you need to do.
Like Triple H is in uncharted territory here, and I don't envy him. It's like, how the hell do you top that? How the hell do you top all that?
Or keep the brand split between Raw and SmackDown, but SmackDown is now called WCW SmackDown.
Just make it official.
I mean, they're already.
Or actually, you would best do that with. You would actually do that best with Raw because. Like, keep WWE SmackDown, but change Raw to Monday Night or Monday Nitro again.
You know what we could get? Oh, so is that what you meant by Raw Underground? Is because WWE bought AAA now?
Yes.
So instead of Lucha Underground, we get Raw Underground?
Yes.
Finally got that. Well done, Tony.
Gotta make sure a porn site doesn't have that name first.
Well, the problem is because we just had Raw Underground with Shane McMahon or whatever that was called.
Robert Rodriguez is not doing anything, I don't think. There's not another Alita Battle Angel movie being made. I don't think.
Yeah, got it.
All right.
Okay, moving on to night 2, I guess.
Yay.
I can't believe you thought night 2 was the worst night. I disagreed so hard.
Really?
I thought night 2 was the better night. I thought night 1 was a slog, and night 2 was the actual night where shit happened.
Well, shit does happen. I'm not denying that.
Yep. So we start with
let's get for these matches.
We start with the best match of WrestleMania, the triple threat between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. A match that, from what I saw from the video package, because I actually looked on YouTube and went back on this, was just, we don't really have storylines for these people here. Like, just
it was
go have
matches. It was basically a Bianca Belair Rhea Ripley match where Io Sky just happened to be champion.
It was Bianca Belair versus Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley just kind of shoved her way into the match. Like, he literally showed up at the siding, just signed her name, and he said, "That's legal. That's how it works."
I mean, all the promos are Belair and Ripley. Because that's what everybody expected. So everybody, but like,
just didn't have any faith in Io Sky.
Kept winning the matches. But every camera shot is Belair facing Ripley, and then Io Sky's right in the middle, just like hunking down, feeling like the afterthought. And that's what it is. And that's why I think she wins the match, is because she wants to prove like she's not the afterthought, like she's worthy of this spot. But
it's a great move.
Because of how they told the story, that's why I don't like the ending. Like,
it's a great move.
It feels like they're prolonging the inevitable, right? Like, I mean, and I guess it's inevitable no matter what that she's going to lose. But like, it feels like she's just like she shouldn't be champion. She just feels like she's there.
Yeah, like she's just keeping it warm. Like she's just a placeholder, and that kind of sucks because who was the Japanese champion in AEW that held for ages as well?
Oh,
Riho?
No, not Riho. It was Hikaru Shida.
Oh,
Hikaru Shida. Kind of the same energy there. Like, they don't really know what to do with these Japanese stars. Like, here's the belt. Go do something with it.
Hikaru Shida doesn't do. But Shida, while Shida can't do like some of the athletic stuff off the top rope like Io Sky does, Hikaru Shida is bigger than Io Sky. So if like you put her in this, she would stand almost at least just as tall, because I think she's still 5'7", because Rhea Ripley's 5'7". Yeah. So, and so is Bianca Belair, I believe. So like Hikaru Shida would stand right there and not look like she's shrunk down, whereas Io Sky is, I mean, maybe as tall as my wife, maybe as tall as Ashley. So like what, 5 foot? So it just looks like.
At the same time, it was less about her physical presence and more like in the story what her presence was. They didn't have her really do anything. Rhea Ripley had all the lines, Bianca Belair had all the promos, but I guess Io Sky was at a disadvantage because of the whole language barrier thing. But that kind of sucks for Japanese wrestlers. Then like,
American wrestling has always been afraid of the language barrier. I think that's one of the issues.
Like, you got to connect with the audience, right? And it's and I while I agree there, I think the other thing is, in like we've talked about old wrestling, if you both remember like the Daniel Bryan championship run before he lost to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28, he always felt like he was going to lose because he was that little heel. Like he got placed in a match with Big Show and Mark Henry in a steel cage where he just simply won because he was able to climb out. He was faster than they were, so he just climbed out really quickly and beat them because they were too slow to keep up with him. But you always knew he was like, he's not going to hold it forever. So that's what like led to the 30-second like kick in the face and Sheamus beating him. And that's how it feels for Io Sky. And that's unfair to Io Sky because she's a much better performer and wrestler than that. But I guess it's another way of saying like this story didn't keep me interested or really get me invested in this match.
That's it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you are in the ring. If the story doesn't work, the match doesn't work. And I feel like Tony Khan is learning that about wrestling as well. You could have all the most talented people on your roster in the world. If the story's not there, people aren't going to watch. I'm a huge Edge fan, and I don't think I've seen a single match of his since he's been in AEW. Like I don't give a shit. There's nothing here to make me watch. And you got to have the story in the first place. While Io Sky is a great wrestler,
I guarantee you've seen the John Moxley diving on the bat of nails.
Yep.
Yeah,
but,
that I've seen.
I mean, but that's a moment, not the match. Yeah.
Instagram pretty much keeps me hooked into the wrestling world to the point where I don't have to watch anymore. It's like, oh, look, here it is. Like, now I know what happened.
No, and AEW content that gets shown on, like, Twitter, Blue Sky, the socials, like, 9 times out of 10, it's Tony Storm.
Yeah.
It is just Tony Storm promos all the way down.
So I have no real reason to watch. Like the reason I would watch is already there on Instagram, so I don't need to tune in anymore.
But there are stories. She's a good story. Like she's learned how to tell good stories in her matches. Now again, like I think like some of like the street fight with I think it's Mariah May, like a little very over the top, but at least like there was story surrounding it. But like most of her stuff, again, it's easy to get involved in because she understands like there's a psychology to the in-ring just as much as there is in the promo leading up to it.
She understands she's here to entertain at the end of the day. You're here to entertain people, and if you're not doing that, you're doing a bad job. You could be the most flippy-dippy, cool wrestler, technical, whatever in the world. If they put a microphone in front of your face and you're boring people, you're a shit wrestler. That's just how they see you. You're doing a shit job. So Toni Storm she doesn't even have to be good. She happens to be a good wrestler, but she's just a good all-around performer. Like she is just good at just keeping all eyes on her, and she's amazing. More wrestlers need to be like Toni Storm, and that's just not me glazing Toni Storm.
The women's matches across this WrestleMania makes me question why the main story that I even see on like general like wrestling news is the WWE is really interested in poaching Mariah May. Why? What are they going to do with her?
Well, I think it's also Mariah May wants to go.
Yeah.
Because she's made it known that she wants to be in WWE.
But
because it's just a question of eyes, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just going to get more eyes on you. And the more eyes you get on you, the more you have endorsement opportunities, the more you have like the convention opportunities, the stuff outside of wrestling and on top sometimes even in wrestling. Like you have your opportunity to sell more merch and things like that. Like it's just like how many people watched the initial Netflix on Raw? I don't think they're doing the same numbers now, but I think it was like 4.4 million. 4.4 million after like even saying Dynamite on the high end since they're on Max now probably gets 800 to 900,000 viewers, if that. So you're talking I can get at least 4 times as many eyes on me, like on this product as opposed to this one. That's the.
Like even if you have a short stint there, you take what you learned there and you go to another company. Suddenly you're king, and they're like giving you like all these like championships and promos and opportunities, and then you take those and then you go back to the WWE and you just kind of rinse and repeat over and over again. You Drew McIntyre yourself and you make all the money in the world, or Edge even. Ed Christian has mastered it at this point, I'm convinced.
Yeah, it's
dude's making bank.
The main weird thing that I see from all of these like AEW talent that go over to WWE is they just keep their exact same like AEW packaging, and yet we're supposed to think that WWE is so great with characters. Like, okay. Cool.
No, I agree with you. We just had like Karrion Kross go viral about like complaining about his spot since he's from Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. On the Sam Roberts scripted thing. But I think you're right, Tony. Like cool. Rusev came back to Hoopla, but what's he gonna do next? Like, is he gonna be the heavy for the New Day? Like, 'cause the New Day's not on TV all the time. Malachi Black just kicked the Miz in the face. I don't really see the Miz on TV all that often compared. I know SmackDown's 3 hours now, but like I don't think Malachi Black's suddenly going to dethrone Jacob Fatu as U.S. champion. I don't think that's coming.
That'd be cool, though.
No. Jacob Fatu.
Must have the line, but that'd be cool.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Like you guys like, and maybe you think there's a plan surrounding you, but in the end, you're going to you're facing the same problem, right? You still got to overcome like here are the staples of the company. If you think you can get there, great, believe in yourself, but I mean, it's going to be a lot of work that all of a sudden, like, you couldn't upstage Moxley or Page or Swerve on AEW, and now you gotta sit there and outperform Rollins and Reigns and Punk and Gunther and Jey Uso and all of these other people. It's not going to be simple.
Which is fine, because I guess they know how it works at this point, right? Like, if they'll be there temporarily, make their money, and then leave. That's the system. If they don't make it, they're just like, all right, now I'm back in AEW. It's like, oh my God, this person's back, and they have a huge video package or whatever, and you can just keep doing that over and over again forever. Like, that's like the system now.
Like Ricky Starks on NXT makes sense, right? Or Ethan Page. Because we didn't see them Starks we did, but like Ethan Page we didn't see much on AEW. And like this is a way, or Lexis King, the Brian Pillman Jr. Like you let them kind of make their names on like this small stage show that's also got the cult following. So you do get like some momentum behind you. But like Aleister Black, Malachi Black going on to SmackDown, like I do think he would have been better served going back to NXT. I really do, because let that build that momentum back behind you. Because now, if you're going to SmackDown, you're just another guy. If you go back to NXT, you're a former champion coming back.
And they'll probably do that anyway. They like switch people around all the time. Like Dolph Ziggler was on NXT for a while there as champion. I completely forgot.
Maybe, but they did just have Aleister Black's wife just win the U.S. Women's title on SmackDown.
Yeah, that too.
So, I don't know if you want to separate a couple and put them on two different shows. It's sometimes hard.
That's always the Vince McMahon move. So I don't know how WWE.
He's not here anymore.
Is if they keep that weird thing that Vince McMahon liked to do. Anyway, Drew McIntyre against Damian Priest in a match that was there.
Yep. I felt the right person won, but I was looking at my phone most of this match.
I'm not big on Damian Priest.
I enjoy Drew McIntyre doing the like I am texting during the match joke, but it is not a good look to say this match is boring, lol. Unless you are being booked as someone who is like an overpowering heel.
I think they are trying to book him as that.
Yeah, but he doesn't have like an easy time in this match. Like I would say that you only do like the texting gimmick if that is the route that you're going. If Drew McIntyre just picked up Damian Priest and ate his head like a snake, then yeah, text that you're bored.
I agree with you in that, like, it's not because I did like the texting. I did like the taking a picture and kind of, but like Damian Priest was just your champion at SummerSlam. So now so what does this do for his next feud? Like Drew McIntyre just beat the shit out of him in a street fight and texted him that he's like whipping, here I'm whipping your butt and here I am on social media. Yep. Where does Damian Priest go after this? Like, does he just go back and be the heavy for Rhea Ripley? Like,
he's free for other feuds now. Now you can have solo feuds, and hopefully some of them will be memorable. And if they're any good,
like El Grande Americano, Chad Gable then should beat him. Penta, Penta's incoming. Like Braun Breaker, you're not beating Braun Breaker, nor should anybody for the next year. Like it's.
You could fight I don't know, Ellie Knight or somebody. There's people.
For nothing, and you better have a good storyline behind it, because otherwise it's just another throwaway match on TV.
Which is fine as long as they have good stories. That's what matters in the end. The belts are just props.
Matches on TV don't have good story, Marlon. That's why they're throwaway matches. That is the problem you get with a 3-hour show. Is that
we're just talking about Damian Priest here and how to fix Damian Priest, and that is to take the belt off him for a bit and just try to have him develop his character because he needs to. He needs
I
to develop
think the way to fix
from
Damian Priest is to release him from his contract and send him out into the wrestling woods to find a character, similar to what Drew McIntyre did. Because Damian Priest has been boring for half a decade, and it's not getting better.
I think when he was on Judgment, he was the heavy for the Judgment Day, and at least you could like envision him because he was the big guy on the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Like, or when he was even North American champion in NXT. But now, like, you made them the Terror Twins, but Rhea Ripley's completely on her own because Rhea Ripley is a big enough star. Like, you don't need to attach anything to her. You really don't. Nor do you probably want to be attached to it because you're always going to be overshadowed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, WWE has the handshake agreement with TNA, so I can't even say, oh, Damian Deacon has entered the Impact Zone.
Killer Martinez.
At this rate. Let's hope not. But in this scenario, yeah, he's the China to her Triple H. So he's to separate him.
You put him in AAA at Worlds Collide in your LA show? And just put him
absolutely. That's your big name. You make him the champion over there. Make him speak all the Spanish he wants.
Actually, that is where Damian Priest could do well. If you had a scripted Lucha Underground style show and you wanted to make Damian Priest like one of the marquee talent of that, I'd believe that. I'd believe a heavily scripted Damian Priest.
Who was the ultimate badass in season 1 of Lucha Underground? Like the one big masked dude that like was promoted by the owner of Lucha Underground. Oh. But he was like basically the big final boss.
I forget his name.
I can't remember. Can't remember if it's Ross or something. Or... Mm-hmm. But I know Prince Puma turned out to be Ricochet. Yeah. That's the only person I remember.
Johnny Mundo,
of course. Now, when Triple H buys WMXC Masters, then you'll have my attention. Bring that back.
I mean, we can get into the business of, against Tony's wishes, we can get into the business of pro wrestling and be like, okay, is this another? If you're buying AAA, when do we start looking at antitrust legislation? But again, debate for another day. Since
20 years ago is when you look at antitrust legislation. But no, I don't think the U.S. Justice Department's going to be doing anything with the sex trafficking Vince McMahon stuff. So
they're kind of busy right now.
Man, they're not busy is the problem. They're not busy in regards to trying to put Vince McMahon in jail. Anyway, political corruption aside, Dominic Mysterio against Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta. It's my first time seeing Penta out of AEW because I didn't watch WWE much. And I saw him in the Royal Rumble, and he's Penta. He does the no fear thing. Yeah. He does the thing with his hands.
Yeah,
he's still cool.
He does good in matches against Chad Gable because Chad Gable's really like him and Chad Gable's styles clash pretty well. Mm-hmm. But I mean, what was this match aside that because of the next day's storyline, you had to take the title off Breaker? Because otherwise he's going to be holding the Intercontinental title forever. So you don't pin him, you put it on Dom so Dom can continue to get his heat. And who was the fourth person in this match? Oh, Finn Balor. Yeah. Which makes me feel bad because Finn Balor's just like, well, I'm just one step closer to like basically training at NXT.
Does Dominic Mysterio
put him back on NXT? Just put Finn Balor back on NXT. Leave him there.
Realistically, he's going to be if WWE's not keeping him as a trainer anyway, if they aren't already, because he's got his wrestling school, like WWE's got to know that there's a partnership deal. Like we have it. Just same with like Natalya. Like there's no reason why we shouldn't be keeping you as a trainer.
Yeah. Does Dominic Mysterio have main event potential, or is he like Chad Gable in that like you have an infinite ceiling as long as you stay far away from the heavyweight titles?
Give him the heavyweight title. I say make that happen. Maybe not now, but give him Money in the Bank, milk that, and then have him screw somebody over at WrestleMania. And that's how you make it work for Dominic.
You can do that, but you better have a babyface that is over and believable. Because if you just put him with anybody, like, for example, like if you put him against, like, say we turn Gunther heel or Gunther babyface because he's a badass and he beats people up. But if you put Dominic Mysterio in with that, I don't think Gunther can help you really talk the people into that building as a babyface. And same with, like, Jey Uso. Like, respectfully to Jey Uso, for as over as he is, I don't know if he can talk people into the building of, like, watch me beat up Dominic Mysterio and make it overly interesting.
I'm just going to say,
because I mean that's what you're selling. Like, you're selling the street fight ass beating. Yeah, that's what you're selling if you're facing Dominic Mysterio.
It's gotta have to be Braun Breaker.
I am always willing to be proved wrong, but I do not see any Shawn Michaels and Dom. Like,
definitely no, nothing like that.
And that's where I would see, like, oh, do you have main event Dom? You need to see Shawn Michaels in him, and I don't. Like, as much as I would like like Gunther is Bret Hart and Dominic Mysterio is Shawn Michaels, that would be funny, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, Dominic Mysterio is David Arquette. He's David Arquette in this scenario, and that's why it'll be funny when he fights Braun Breaker. I feel like he'll be a great heel champion. Like, easily. He's got enough of a following for it.
And Tony, I agree with pretty much like what you're saying. I mean, the one thing I will say he has going for him, he is very young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's grown up in the business and he has gotten better.
But, a lot better.
You're right in that, like, you still have a whole nother level to ascend to if this is where you want to be.
In the early, like, Intercontinental run that Shawn Michaels had when he was with Sherry, did anyone see him as a main eventer? Probably not. I agree. I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I do not see it personally. I cannot envision that universe.
What we also don't talk about
Cody Rhodes, I'm willing to be wrong about this one. Like, I said the same thing about Cody Rhodes in his legacy days, and now look at this guy.
Well, you were right.
So
I
can
Cody
see it
Rhodes
happening.
Is the problem.
I mean, what we also don't talk about is, like, that time when Shawn Michaels did ascend. Is you got to keep in mind the business was way down too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they were trying to sell something completely different. Now we look at it today as it worked, but, like, they weren't selling a lot of tickets in '95 and '96.
Yeah, but I don't think WWE is an apparatus that would allow that to happen. They would more likely put a heel champion as a, like, heel Shawn Michaels role. They would give it to Logan Paul more than they would give it to Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, well, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. Although you put those two head to head, that's how you get a good face turn. Like, I'm not sure who would make the face turn, probably Dominic in this instance, but those two head to head would be.
It
crazy.
Is impossible to turn Logan Paul face. I'm just...
Yeah.
Logan Paul could personally give $3,000 to absolutely everyone in the stadium, and he would still be a heel. That's why,
because he showed
that money.
It's because that $3,000 was all in an NFT.
What the hell, the bathing ape? What is this? I can't eat with this.
Did you hear the rumor that supposedly he offered Stone Cold Steve Austin $1 million to come out when he did his attendance announcement and unfortunately rammed the barricade with his four-wheeler? But he wanted him to come out in a Prime bottle as, like, a Prime bottle mascot. And Stone Cold respectfully just said no. Thank God.
He got off lucky. There should have been a respectful Stone Cold stunner.
Hey, Hogan would have done it. Hogan would have pitched his real American beer in a Prime.
I want to swap out the Stone Cold Steve Austin of today with the Stone Cold Steve Austin of 1999 and get asked that question.
Let's say get a mud hole stomped in.
Logan Paul is a smear on the floor. Okay, let me get out my. Oh, it's this.
What was the next?
Oh no, not this. This wasn't the steroids match. This was Randy Orton against Joe Hendry. This was the quick match.
Yes.
Yeah, this was fun.
That still surprised me.
I didn't expect Joe Hendry.
I wish Joe Hendry got a little more offense, but if you only have 3 minutes, you only have 3 minutes. He's there for the entrance anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, like we say, like, oh, he's the TNA champion, and he just got squashed by Randy Orton. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, like, the TNA champion has never made an appearance on WrestleMania. Now he did. Like, and you still got the camera work. The camera work was fun.
Yeah, it's the it is the equivalent to the only person who gives a fuck about Triple H being squashed by the Ultimate Warrior in WrestleMania 12 is Triple H.
At the same time, it was done in such a way that it's legit. Like, everybody falls to the RKO. No one ever really kicks out of it, and it took them by surprise. So you can just for an excuse at it now.
I will say I do want to see. I want to see in the Cena Randy Orton match the camera work of like RKO and just the big smile. That was pretty good.
They should start making that a thing. I do the best friends hugs do mid camera thing whenever he does it.
Does Joe Hendry have main event in WWE potential?
No. God, no.
No. It's not a too short thing. Joe Hendry's not that short. He's like he could
be on NXT. It's just the gimmick has a ceiling.
The gimmick has a ceiling, and I'm not sure what else he could do. Maybe he could grow out his hair, grow out a beard. I don't know. I know people change all the time, but I can't foresee it right now.
If you're going to be champion, especially in the WWE or even in AEW, you have to have an edge. Like, you have to have a realistic, I am just here to beat you up edge.
Here is a kind Scottish man.
It's not even about having an edge. It's about having a character that won't get stale. And I haven't even seen Joe Hendry that much, and the character is already stale for me. So I can't imagine years of this, wait for him to become champion and having to maintain this character through that championship run. Like, I'm not with it. I don't care about this guy.
Do you see?
That's it.
I'll ask you both this because you both watch the same time. Do you see Joe Hendry's gimmick having a higher ceiling than, say, a Val Venus? Or do you even see Val Venus as actually gimmick has actually had a higher ceiling? I
see Joe Hendry as having a higher ceiling. I think people like. I think if you, this is coming from this place with me, which is that modern WWE entrances are all fucking trash. The themes are
long. The WrestleMania entrances are long. Like, they had the Undertaker's entrances, just WrestleMania entrances. They had a 2-hour video of all of his entrances of every Mania. Like, just watching that, and they had another video. This is just all WrestleMania entrances. It played for 4.5 hours on YouTube. I don't want to watch that.
No, when
WWE Lincoln Log.
The overall problem is that the themes are bad. Like the actual music that you hear in your ears makes you want to claw your own ears out.
You don't like CFOs?
And since
like
Joe Hendry actually has a song that doesn't want to make you claw your own ears out, that actually gives him a little bit of like, hey, I actually want to see more of you in my eyes. I'm just saying that WWE can afford licensed music, and they should just be going on Spotify to whatever mid-price to low-price, like, random ass like bands to get fucking like
bands.
I'm trying to think of like who various openers are. Like, I think Ashiniko still does like Billie Eilish's opener. Like, just get her to do a few like women's wrestling themes, whatever. Like,
you just ask the wrestlers what they want. Or just pay that guy.
Yeah,
like, that's it. What are you listening to right now?
Like,
just ECW it.
I understand it's like, oh, it's cheaper for us to just use our in-house band, but I mean, I think we need to start talking about the in-shitification of wrestling again. Where like we need, if WWE, if you want to stay like the big dog on the hill and be like this wrestling monopoly, then you need to give us a product that doesn't seem like you're cheaping out constantly.
Yeah. No, no, that's true. Like, they have a pretty expensive product as is. I feel like it looks like an expensive product, but I feel like when it comes to things like music, it's clearly cheap. Like it's almost like having cheap NES music in the background. You might as well at this point. You can afford to have people show up at WrestleMania. You can afford to have their music play every week.
I mean, you both know this, though. I mean, not to get again into the business talk, but when you already have a license to print money, all you want to do is just print more of it.
No, I understand that, but I as a fan, I do not want that. Like I would rather you have some of the money instead of all of the money, and make a product that I want to be able to have a DVD of like 15 years later and go, oh yeah, this was a good show, and man, this stuff is great.
This age as well. This is fun.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, might as well use that money to make your product better, or else why even have the money? What are you doing with it? You're just hogging it. Make the product better. Just do it.
Because you're saving your big storylines for your Saudi shows.
I haven't seen a single one, I'm proud to say. So
I'm just there. So I actually need to get on my high horse about this one because this bothers me. So SNK Fatal Fury City of the Wolves sponsored this show. SNK was purchased by the Saudi like Royal Fund, whatever the fuck it's called. And
like the video game company was purchased by them, or like, yep, this is your wheelhouse.
No, and they also have like investments in Nintendo and things like that. But SNK is something that they own. So SNK comes out with this fighting game, and there are two characters that seem a bit odd because they're not Fatal Fury characters that they've added. Yep. One is Cristiano Ronaldo, who was added as a fighting game character in Fatal Fury. And the other is this DJ dude, Gospachi or whatever the fuck his name is. And I have
very European.
I have nothing against the DJ's character. He seems like a kind of funny guy, but the entire reason why he's there is because he's Mohammed bin Salman's friend. Pisses me off.
I mean,
so much.
Cristiano Ronaldo on there is because he's trying to build up the Saudi soccer league.
Yep, and that's why he's there. Despite, sexual assault allegations and things like that. I
did not know about that. That's what I get for not listening to the news.
But yeah, it's something where when he showed up doing like the DJ thing because they had the little City of the Wolves entrance thing, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's Mohammed bin Salman's friend, and even though the character is kind of fun in the video game, that's why he's there. This is fun. I like this fighting game. I'm just go play Tekken 8. Whatever. Although Tekken 8 kind of sucks now because they screwed up the balancing, but that's not here nor there.
Welcome back to Tony Hates Things.
No. Well, I mean, it is probably it's probably not easy when like something you absolutely personally loathe you see in the middle of the WrestleMania ring for 2 straight days.
Street Fighter 6 is still very good. If you're wondering what fighting game to get, what modern fighting game to get, Street Fighter 6. You can also play Soul Calibur 6. It was $8 this weekend. I ended up picking it up because that is the boomer fighting game. That is the game where you can just like press the occasional button instead of doing these massive combos.
Just play MLB The Show.
No.
Be happy.
No. Let's think of Mortal Kombat.
No, I don't want any game that involves like a stupid card battler that they constantly want me like, oh, you just played a single game of baseball. Do you want to buy packs? No, I don't. The only card game that I'm willing to buy,
I don't buy the packs, and it's still fun.
The only card game I'm willing to play is WWE Supercard, and even then I've removed that on my phone like 8 times and then just come back to it on occasion. Oh, what cards are here? What are the little card animations? Oh, it's this? Okay, uninstall. Cool.
Yes, except that game gets stupider because now like all the cards I built up in like 4 years ago mean absolutely jack diddly because now they're like, oh, now your hit points have to be 10,000.
Yep.
Like, oh, my 300 hit point card means nothing now.
That ultra rare Dolph Ziggler card means nothing now. Steroid match. We're here. AJ Styles against Logan Paul.
I wouldn't call it steroid match, but it made me sad because AJ Styles has made it known he is not wrestling after 50, which means in theory this would be his last WrestleMania match. And this was just throwaway. Like, I get it, Karrion Kross wants to show up because again it's his hometown, so he wants the spotlight too. But like, both these guys are more than talented enough. They could have had something fun, and this was just there.
Yeah.
And for both guys that are truly capable of stealing any show that they're on, like AJ, it makes me sad. AJ probably should have been done after his match with Cody in France.
Well, I disagree. I still think it's an amazing match. Like, it might be so for a AJ Styles match, but it's still amazing for a Logan Paul match. I mean, my standards always dirt low of Logan Paul, so maybe that's just it.
I very much dislike that Logan Paul has had enough matches that we know what a Logan Paul match looks like now.
I mean, give him credit where credit's due. The dude can go.
No, I give him credit for being athletic. I cannot give him credit as a human being.
Well, that's
right.
Oh man, next year we're going to get Logan Paul against Andrew Tate. Yeah, I really want to see that match.
Kill me. Would be.
We're in Conor McGregor having be a fatal 3-way.
That's how we'll know that Vince McMahon is back on the.
Yeah, we just dropped the scoreboard on top.
Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, and Logan Paul.
Where is Mania next year anyway? Do we know?
Isn't it in New Orleans, or is that 2 years?
I think you're right. Is Mania, is SummerSlam this year in Minneapolis?
No, SummerSlam is 2026.
Okay.
I made that mistake already this year, where I was like, oh, I should see what SummerSlam tickets are. And it's like, to be announced, because it's in a year and a half, stupid.
and 2 nights. SummerSlam will be 2 nights too.
And just, I don't want to go to a stadium twice. I don't want to pay for parking twice. Granted, I can just take the light rail in, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes, but at the same time, like,
not drive.
I don't want to go to the worst show. That's the other problem. Like, how would you feel if, like, oh, I missed Mania night 1. Oh, I went to night 2. Oh, like,
depends on how you feel about night 2. Like, I feel like night 2.
Or like, better yet, in the past, like, God, I went to WrestleMania 33, or no, yeah, like, I went to WrestleMania 33. How was it? Like, wish I would have gone to NXT. Like, back in those days, like, that was. Those are the ones when you feel like you were missing.
So if you're a pessimist, pretty much.
Well, just go see the indie shows at First Ave, and that will probably be better.
Hey, I mean,
did you see the image of the $400 tickets from Mania this year?
I did. Those were
$400 tickets.
There was a guy that talked about him and his girlfriend splurging, and he had like literally every photo next to every wrestler, pretty much, of him smiling next to every wrestler. Showed him his seats, like where he sat, and like basically he was part of every fan event of every, like $38,000.
Jesus.
I mean, cars aren't cheap now. Like, it's more than a car.
That's a few cars.
Well, just one now.
A few down payments and a few homes.
Anyway, Lyra Valkyrie and Becky Lynch against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Bad, because there's a lot of talent in this match, but it's throwaway.
Yeah,
I don't remember it as much.
I want Becky Lynch.
And you had him lose the next night anyway, so the result means nothing. And you had Becky turn on Lyra Valkyrie. So, like, it's just.
What are we doing? Like, why?
I want Becky Lynch to have a run that doesn't make me think that she would be better off being retired in Iowa.
I want Liv got so good in the past year. and then you just put her in. Like, I get it, she's friends with Raquel, but like you could have had Rhea Ripley against Liv Morgan 3 on the Mania stage, and I think you would have been better served than the Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley triple threat.
Probably.
Because there's more story behind their match. Like, it's just simple as that, and Liv has gotten good. And Rhea Ripley, I think, is better served in a singles match rather than a triple threat. Because it takes a certain amount of skill to be in a triple threat and carry that through. Like, I think Io Sky can do it. I don't know if Bianca and Rhea necessarily have enough experience to do it on that high of a stage. Like, Io Sky it felt like when Io Sky was in NXT, all she had were triple threats, so I think like she kind of got used to it. But
it does not help that the WWE Women's Tag Team has never felt important, even when like Naomi and now Mercedes Moné, then Sasha Banks, like actively made it their mission to make it important. And
you mean Bayley, Bayley and Sasha Banks, right? Not Naomi.
Oh, I thought it was Naomi and Sasha Banks had it when they were like when they went.
Oh, when they walked out.
Yeah,
that's right. When they walked out.
But a damn shame.
But
no respect for tag team.
It's one of these things where like there are occasions where I look at the I return to the idea of like you should have fewer titles and have them float than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, and at this point, they still have a different deal with Fox and Netflix. So, enshittification of wrestling enshittification of a WWE. I shouldn't say of wrestling in general. Go see your local indie show, audience. Do it. Buy a ticket now. There are good things that you'll see.
We promise. I swear.
Could be goofy. You get enough social media to like just avoid the broken glass.
Oh, it will absolutely be goofy, but you'll probably get a good deal on Zubas. Like that's always the benefit.
That's fair.
You will get some shitty T-shirts. I will say that because oh man, pro wrestling tees they were bad quality shirts when we were still doing fantasy bookers. They are worse now. Only going to get worse with the tariffs probably too. But
yeah. Made in America. God damn it.
Okay, time to finish this off and talk about our lower quarter of this thing with the Cody Rhodes joke. But John Cena against Cody Rhodes, and I will start us off by saying, if there's anything that John Cena has shown me in my time being a wrestling fan, it is that he is a master of crowd manipulation. He is very good at dictating a pace to make the crowd does what he wants, where he will slow down if the crowd is like a little too rowdy. He will speed up if he wants the crowd to cheer. He will generally work with, a heel that a crowd is behind to get a crowd interested in a match. Here, he is trying to slow down to a crawl this match to get the crowd to care any lick about Cody, and they are saying no.
We refuse to care about this man.
You tried to
screw John.
Yeah, like I mean, they tried to sell Cody that because we all knew the result, right? Cena winning was the only way this could have gone.
Yeah,
but like, cause Cena was dominating in the promos. Like Cody has a couple good lines, but people were trying to say, oh, he's keeping up with Cena pretty well. Not really. Like keeping up with Cena on the mic is a pretty tough thing to do, and I wouldn't say he was doing it here. But what they do is because like each of their last promos, Cena gets a crossroads on Cena, and Cena just looks dead in the ring. Well, again, this is usually a dead giveaway that the heel's going over in the actual match. And like you said, like they're slowing it to a crawl because like we try to like make Cody like he's the one who should be winning here. He's the better wrestler. He's the one, but because he, like we said before, at this point now he's felt placeholder. There's no excitement. We knew he was going to beat AJ Styles, but that match was good. Who did Cody face at SummerSlam?
Damn, I remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it Roman Reigns? I don't know.
No, it wasn't Roman. Oh, it was probably Solo.
Yeah.
Which again, like, you don't view Solo as a credible threat, and like, basically, there is truth to the meme. Like, it's Cody Rhodes versus the guy he wants to be.
Yeah.
But if you're wrestling the guy you want to be, obviously the guy you want to be does it better than you, and he should win. And the crowd felt the exact same way.
So I made mention of the promo in 2017 when Cena was facing Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns loses his spot in the promo, and Cena just tears into him. And Cena seems pissed in that promo, because Roman not only like loses spot in the promo, he also like goes to the well of something that everyone else has said in their promo, and he's just kind of not being creative about it. And
yeah, he just called Cena a bitch.
Yeah,
and Cena's like,
and that's
this is what you got, man.
And Cena, obviously, this isn't a promo battle. This is an actual match. But Cena seems legitimately pissed that Cody does not have the crowd behind him. Like, it very much seems the, like, I am just here because you can't do your job, the line that he gave Roman.
Jesus.
And I think that, like, Cody, I think, by changing companies, and obviously, like I said, in the same scenario, I would have changed companies too. But I think that Cody in changing companies is basically fat and happy that he's not singing for his supper. We are gifted the fact that Roman became good. And he became good out of spite, it seems. It's like, hey, wrestling fans, I'm here forever. You're going to be here no matter what. So let's just not hate each other. I'll be good if you promise to actually, be objective.
I think Roman finally gave the wrestling fans what they wanted.
Yeah.
Because you left WWE. AEW still had momentum. They didn't take WWE, but they had a lot of momentum behind them. So finally, what do you do? Like, we'll cave to the internet fans this much. We'll give them the heel Roman.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? People got behind the heel Roman, and Roman got better because you understood how to produce. Like, all you had to do was show him beating up people, commenting him into the camera while he's beating up people, and you're instantly like, he's a badass. By the way, Roman has always been able to sell a little. Like, he's been able to sell because he's been like the underdog babyface. So he knew how to sell. So now it made his selling that much better because now he doesn't have to do it as much on top of that.
Yeah.
Cody was the underdog, so it worked for Cody building up to. He always had the bigger monster, right? He had Roman, who he lost to the first time. Then he had to battle Brock, and you knew it was coming. But like Brock's a monster, and he beat him. But then he was always teaming with somebody, so he had like basically someone else's fanfare to kind of piggyback off of, including last year's WrestleMania, because last year's WrestleMania we remember as being great, but why do we remember it as being great? Because of all like interference. We remember like, golly, like Cena came in, and then The Undertaker came in, and like Sami Zayn and like Kevin Owens showed up, and that was fun. Like,
part of it,
or Jimmy or Jey Uso coming in, like all of that like hoopla we didn't expect, finally giving Cody his moment. Yeah. Because he got the piggyback on the fanfare of all of those other, because it looks like they chose him and they were piggybacking off of him. Now it's like, I've been champion for a year. Yeah. So like the underdog is gone. I've beaten up this heel 3 times already, like in storyline, where I've just left him laying in the middle of the ring. And by the way, the main guy that like kind of caused this whole storyline isn't here.
I will say, so that is the one criticism that I've heard constantly. It's like, oh, well, the Rock didn't show up, so this is kind of his fault. No, fault's on Cody.
Oh, I would say it's his fault.
Like the Rock, who cares? Like, The Rock is a non-entity at this point. He's as important here as he is to the DC universe, as in my opinion.
I disagree because The Rock's presence set in motion the storyline. So there should have been like a promo or something to be like, hey, I'm sending Travis Scott here, because they still show Travis Scott, but like, cool, he got a crossroads because he bloodied up Cody at Elimination Chamber. Like,
that's a good.
But in the end, like,
got the link in the storyline. That was he was there.
I mean, like, you can't give me steak and then say, but we have nothing but an appetizer. Like, and this isn't disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect Travis Scott, but like, we had The Rock, and now we're waiting for The Rock to show up, and he doesn't.
Yeah, but
they sent out Travis Scott.
And because you're following up last year's Mania with all of the fanfare and the hoopla and basically the interference, and now this one, we still only have basically John Cena wrestling a mirror. It's
a mirror match.
See, but at that point, so I'm the person who wants The Rock to be a non-entity for like 5 years. Like, just go away, make your money off your shitty smelling soap and your bad tasting energy drink and your shitty tequila. Do that. Like, just go away for
probably
a while.
He's on the TKO board. He can have say, but I think he realizes like he can't wrestle.
The Rock has X-Pac heat with me, but
you're not alone. There's a lot of fans that feel that same way.
But like, I think that the problem with like what I've heard in wrestling media, what I've seen in like fan interactions and in posting and things like that, is that there is not enough ownership being placed on Cody as a failed babyface, because this is the exact thing that happened in AEW. It's like, you have enough control over your character that you can determine like what you should be able to do, and you can do that. You showed fire when you were in New Japan. Like, you've shown that you can make the crowd excited with, flurries of offense, or at least doing literally anything exciting. But instead, for this match, what do you do to get the crowd excited? Oh, I do my finisher, because my dad's Dusty Rhodes, and that's what Dusty Rhodes did. Did you know my dad's Dusty Rhodes? Fuck off. Like, do
to be fair,
something.
All that New Japan stuff, he was a heel for. Like, his best run outside of WWE and AEW was his heel work for the Bullet Club, and here we have him trying to be a face against someone who we wanted to make a face turn for years. So we have the guy that gave the audience what they wanted versus the guy who was essentially not the version that we wanted to see to begin with. So he always had an uphill battle. It was never going to work for him.
I place the blame more on the creative than Cody, and the reason why is because why would Cody go against what's worked for him for a year as the champion? Like, he hasn't gotten the negative reaction that he has really until this match.
I understand.
So why would he fight what's been working to him to hey, like, I'll listen to creative here, so like I'm not going to go against, because so far like I've done pretty well, or people have like felt like I'm a pretty good established champion. I've been here for a year. Why am I choosing now to go against the status quo?
I understand that criticism, but I give you that during the Roman Empire era of Roman Reigns' time, the most famous line that he said in an interview in regards to, what's your opinion of the way you've been treated creatively? And he said, I just do what I told and I get rich. And
that's Roman said that, or Cody said that?
Roman said that. And the entire time in wrestling media, in the fandom, was like, oh, how can he say this? He should have, some ownership over his character, blah, 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 blah. And now Roman has that. Cody's now in that spot. Cody would say, I just do what I'm told and get rich. If you are saying like, why would Cody do anything different? I agree. Why would he do anything different other than you see something that actively made the product better by Roman actually giving a fuck And now we have Cody, who is, if you're playing the blame on creative, then Cody has ownership over his own life and over his own creative. He's a main eventer.
Yeah.
You still got to go out there and perform and ring, right? Again, like the line before, the bell still has to ring. So you can have the build up and have like the hoopla behind the story. Like Cody, even like to me, even at Elimination Chamber, he does well where he tells Rock to go fuck himself, and like it made me interested, and he sells well. But like again, we still have to have the match. The reason why like it's hard because I don't know if I'd even credit Roman with being in charge of his own creative when he came back as a heel, like in mid 2020. Like they might have just said, like, here, I think this is the best direction for us to go. Because sometimes you see guys get in charge of their own creative and it doesn't make it better, i.e. Hulk Hogan post 1999.
Yeah, or John Moxley in his current AEW run.
Yes.
I
don't know who I attribute to Death Riders to, if that is mostly Moxley or Tony Khan,
but on that same note, I'll just give you a little thought experiment. Cody is in this position against Cena. If you swapped out Cody for another AEW main eventer, even at the time, if you swapped him in for Kenny, if you swapped him in for Swerve, if you swapped him in for Hangman Page, this is a better match that leaves your babyface more credible in each of those cases.
Yeah.
This is Cody's fault.
I still wouldn't blame Cody Rhodes.
If they have the same amount of momentum and you're just going off their in-ring performance, yes, I would agree. Although I would still, like, again, I think no matter who he faces, Cena has to win the match, just given what the storyline has been.
No, yeah, you're changing nothing. You're just in which circumstance do you think you would be leaving going, oh, I'm excited to see us come back to this for SummerSlam? Because I'm not excited for the rematch at SummerSlam in this case.
I don't know if you're going to get a rematch at SummerSlam, to be honest with you.
Or whatever lesser pay-per-view, whatever Saudi
like,
show.
I think you're building Cody to something else, and then maybe like have him come back at some time where he can maybe he can face Jey Uso, and actually that
get a different title. Yeah, that's really it. He'll just have to face Jey Uso.
Given their storyline,
finally. Turning him heel against Jey Uso would be a brilliant move.
I don't even know if you need to even turn him heel. At least not turn him heel initially. Like you can just have them, like you can have the babyface because it sounds mean, but like the heavyweight title is basically like the IC belt, right? Like or what it was. Mm-hmm. Like it's still your second tier heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Like the Undisputed Championship that Cena carries is your main event title. So you can have babyface versus babyface for that heavyweight title and have it be just as interesting because again, you're viewing like this is the workers title or this is the guys that can like face off and have a fun match. But your main event is still sold babyface versus heel. Well, you save that for Cena and whoever Cena might be facing.
It doesn't have to be though. The thing is, the fans clearly don't like Cody Rhodes as a face. I don't like Cody Rhodes as a face either. So why are we keeping him as a face? Why are we obligated to do
it's
that?
Because Cody Rhodes has said that he wants to be a babyface pretty much for the rest of his life. Like, he doesn't want to turn heel. That's why he left AEW. It's the Charlotte Flair problem of someone needs to sit him down and tell him wrestling is fake.
But I think there's two things to that. Like one, when did Cody really get most of his apathy set in an AEW? When he was the TNT title holder and he was beating up these new incoming guys. Like he beat Lance Archer. He beat who else did he beat? The other big dude that beat him for a hot minute and then he lost the title back to Cody.
Was it Brian Cage?
No, it was what's his face?
Was it Miro? But
it was Miro. So it was what's his face? The chairman, Perfect 10 guy.
Oh, yep.
Hi, Dillinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whose name but who's
Sean
also
Spears.
his best friend. Sean Spears. Thank you. But that's where Cody can't hold a title. Like, he's not. Unfortunately, he's a babyface in the chase. And this is where I think modern wrestling is, too. It's hard to be a babyface and hold the title for that long. Like, we've gotten conditioned to, like, we need the chase. And the chase is better because the heel champion can say whatever he wants. I would rather see a heel champion on the mic than a babyface champion on the mic.
You can still have
honestly, like put it, for example, CM Punk is one of the better wrestlers on promo, right? I think we can generally agree. Right. But if you make CM Punk the champion now, who's he yelling at? What's he bitching about? Like, he just looks like a guy like who's just complaining just for the sake of complaining. Like, you got to give him something that's there to an obstacle to face. Otherwise, yeah, Cody's just the old man shouting at Cloud, like, dude, you're already champion.
Well, the other problem with Cody in AEW was that his character went stale because the main, like, chain that was put on that was not even put on him. He put it on himself. Because it was his creative decision to say, hey, if I can't beat Jericho, I can't challenge for the world title ever again. And he stuck to that, and the only way that you can actually go against that is to turn heel, and he didn't want to turn heel. So you're left at an impasse where, cool, now you're having these nothing mid-card matches against that one boxer guy, you're like the rah America guy, and then on top of that,
he tried to rev you all up when he jumped through the flaming table.
Yeah,
but I mean, that just looked like I'm trying to do this for your love, and then and you had your throwaway, like your feud versus MJF could have gone longer, but that became throwaway.
Yeah,
these guys just not learn from Hogan's mistakes. Like, the end of his career was just not that memorable because he didn't want to turn. It wasn't until he turned heel that anyone really gave a shit. And they just want to keep doing the same thing. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know if it's necessarily just Cody. Because I think part of it's the machine. Like, I think it's WWE as a whole. I don't just blame Cody. I think this is WWE complacency. I really do. Like, we have nothing facing us, and like, we're not thinking about what's on against us. We're thinking about writing TV tomorrow. Like, that's what they're just like, just get us to the next storyline. And when you do that, things kind of like, you're not building to anything. You're just trying to think of an excuse for people to watch tomorrow.
Which has worked so far, to their credit.
No, it does, but that'd be because then you start to take that audience for granted.
Yeah. At the same time, they do not know how to write faces. Once they're champions anyway, that's been their entire history in my book. I've never been a fan of faces as a result because I never really gave a shit once they got the belts. Unless you can be entertaining like Stone Cold Steve Austin or have like a running gag or something, faces generally just aren't that interesting as champions.
They're running Backlash 3 weeks after WrestleMania because WrestleMania was so late this year. Because May 10th is Backlash. Like,
right.
Jesus Christ. Like, Jey Uso's next feud to really get everybody interested, like in a perfect world, be Sami Zayn. Like, you could that story is there. Like, and maybe they're building that to a later date, but I don't know. Like, what's
Backlash?
Who are you going to face that's going to get me excited? Like, are they going to have a tournament? That's not a WWE thing.
WWE hates tournaments,
and they don't do them well either. Like,
that is another one. Jey Uso, he has the belt now. I don't give a shit. Like, who cares? They don't know how to write faces.
But like, I don't like. Who are you going to face that looks like insurmountable against you? You just beat Gunther, so there has to be some overarching danger or some storyline that gets me interested.
You're going to have the Paul Heyman faction just be as big as NWO and just overtake the.
But then you're losing, and that's fine. Yeah. Lose to Seth Rollins, but then you're going to have to fight to keep the momentum you have because, again, like, there's power in the cool heel too.
Yeah.
So
feel like 90% of the power is in the cool heel. I feel like the face's job is to just be there and have heels just thrown at them over and over and over again, and just see if they win at some point.
Yeah. Cody had to be built up for 2 years to beat Roman. For 2 years. Like, constantly built up, and you didn't see Roman every show. Keep in mind, Roman is still the one that retired Daniel Bryan on WWE TV. He stacked Edge and Daniel Bryan on top of each other and pinned them. He beat Brock Lesnar 3 times in a row. Like, and Cody built up to this. Now it's basically, again, I think we're bored and we need the cool heel back. And we're not going to get Roman, the luster's off of Roman. He's not going to be champion again for another 5 years.
I would say 5 years.
It was 4.
It would be a while.
2020 to last year. So 4 years.
I think they can only have him chasing the belt without getting it again for so long. So they just don't know what to do with him anymore. I think his character is now just permanently chasing the belt. I don't see mid-card Roman Reigns happening again within our lifetime. I don't see him chasing the IC belt. I don't see him chasing the tag team belts. I don't see any of that happening.
I think we're setting up for a fun Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman talking for him. I think it's what you're going to get. And you're going to get Breaker for a while. Because Breaker...
Yeah. Roman Reigns as the Breaker, it does sound awesome, though. Like, at least that's pretty rare. Like, you can have some pretty awesome exhibition matches and feuds without having the belt involved. Breaker versus Roman Reigns is one of them. I think it's going to do a great job building up Braun Breaker. And plus, we're going to see some awesome spears.
Oh, well. We're left in a generally more depressing place than we started, which sounds like a general Fantasy Bookers episode. But this is an anime-splaining episode, and we always need to give the score. So once again, this is stolen from Super Eye Patch Wolf. We do a 7-star system. 1 is completely insulting to my intelligence. 2 is bad, but with maybe some good qualities. 3 is I did not feel robbed. Just kind of a general like lower mediocre kind of feeling. 4 is I liked it, but there is something kind of about it that just kind of sits with me just a little bit bad. 5 is good for the genre, 6 is exemplary for the genre, and 7 is so good it has redefined what good is. This Mania gets a 2 from me. I can't even say I did not feel robbed, because at the end of the day, this ate up 8 hours
the main event of your lasting taste.
I have been in a spot where I just had to watch 48 episodes of anime, because I watched Freyrin and I'm almost done with Delicious in Dungeon. And in the time it took me to watch 4 hours of wrestling, I was like, I could have spent all this time catching up on this anime that I need to watch for the Anime of the Year stuff. So I could only give this a 2.
Well, that's just you hating on the product. That's just you not wanting to watch to begin
Tony's an AEW guy.
I'll let you go, Marlon, because
it's a solid 4 from me. I can't honestly give this a 5, because a big part of it is missing the video packages. I love having the video packages before matches. I love getting hyped for the matches. And my hype just wasn't there for a lot of these this year, and a lot of that has to do with them being so damn predictable. It was a very predictable year. So with the exception of the main events of both nights, I was kind of like, yeah, of course this guy won. Of course this guy won. Like, okay, cool. Although the Seth Rollins thing, pretty huge friggin' surprise.
Mm-hmm. I'm with Tony. I hover between a 2 and a 3 because there are good qualities over a 2, but that because the way you ended the show, unfortunately when your main event shits the bed like that, how can you leave with a good taste in your mouth? Like, so
if you swap night 1 and night 2. If you completely swap the cards, would this be a 3?
Then it would get at least a 3. Yeah. But unfortunately, because you leave with that main event, is like this whole... And again, I liked for what it was and like all the promos building up to it, I liked the Cena Cody hype. I thought the hype was worthy of a WrestleMania main event match. But the problem is then the bell had to ring, like we said before, and you can't leave
Cody Rhodes
that
is boring
and make me think like this was anything but like I mean, if this was a DVD, I'm gonna see those two on the cover of the DVD, and I'm gonna be like, oh, well, that was great.
That's a good way to put it. That's how I'm gonna start judging these main events now. Like, if I saw this on the cover of a DVD, would I feel let down having watched this match?
Yeah, like WrestleMania 2000. WrestleMania 2000 had Jericho against Angle against Benoit. And I mean, we can say what we want about Benoit now, and I'd agree to anything you both say about it. But the match is like great for what it is, and I think we also had TLC 1 between the Dudleys, Hardys, but because the main event was crap, we usually remember WrestleMania 2000 as like meh, or another one, WrestleMania 27. Like for what it is, like I can knock WrestleMania 27 because I don't compare WrestleMania 9. Every match is bad.
WrestleMania 27 has one good match. Just
two. Punk against Orton is not bad. Actually, Cody against Ray is okay, but the best match on the night in 27 is Triple H against The Undertaker because they wrestled each other before, and but that main event doesn't leave you wanting more at all. Like, yeah, I'm with Tony, like 2.5 max, maybe a 2.75, but I'd say 2.5.
Yeah, I would. That low? Come on, there's so many worse WrestleManias.
No, there are WrestleManias that are ones like
around the same. You're right. Is this would I rather watch this than WrestleMania 32? Probably. But 32 has the triple threat of the women, and it has AJ Styles intro match with Jericho. And while I don't like the result, but I mean, I can't say like this Mania is that much better than that one. It's
at my lowest, I'd give it a 3. Like nothing was memorable about this WrestleMania.
Or 33, like we're the only. I think 33 is the one where the only legit good match is AJ against Shane. And the rest is just crap. Like,
yep.
So I,
we just, like I said, we just end on a more depressing note overall.
Every time we watch WWE, this happens.
Should just do more wrestling content.
The good news is, like, every now and then you need a throwaway garbage WrestleMania to remember the good ones. Not all of them can be like. I mean, the one line I do agree with Jim Cornette with is like, if you have a room full of 7-footers, I don't have any giants. That's true. So if every WrestleMania is like the top end bookend show, then are any of them really like the top end bookend show?
That's fair. This was always going to be the Black Widow of the series. It was always going to be the movie right after Endgame.
Yep.
Has to freaking follow Endgame.
WrestleMania 27 is a filler WrestleMania. Like it is a filler arc of WrestleMania. So this kind of felt similar.
But you're right. I think you're right, Marlon. I think you hit the nail on it. WrestleMania 40, with that main event, with all of like the fanfare and the hoopla and the interference that followed, like all the social media getting behind it and how much fun it was and all the nostalgia, like that was your end.
Just that. It was the storylines. All the storylines came to an end in a neat little bow, and it was so expertly well done that I kind of you can't be faulted for expecting that level of quality every year. But that was clearly something they worked on for years, and this was just kind of like, let's just throw this out there. Just, here you go. It's WrestleMania. You got it.
And this is, and to come full circle, this is what we were talking about before, where I think, like we said, when Tony Khan started AEW, he had a plan. I mean, to his credit, like he had a plan, and like we did praise his booking for a while, for about like at least a year or two.
Then Hangman Page got the title. and,
Yeah,
and then he had no idea what to do.
Building this moment, but heel Kenny holding all the belts. Like, you can say what you want, whether you like Kenny Omega or not. The storyline had you interested. Or starting with Jericho as your champion, and Jericho actually was a great first champion for AEW, and then losing it to Moxley made sense. And Moxley, now there were stumbles along the way, but generally the booking was good. But now you passed the 2-year mark, and like you said, you've told your story now, but you still have TV the next day. And just like WrestleMania 40, like you were saying, Marlon, you told your story. Now Triple H has to turn the page and write television the next day.
Yeah.
And now I think now you're seeing him kind of start over, and
now
the criticism is there, because now I started with all this momentum because I'm not Vince McMahon. I had a plan, but now I got to show that I'm different.
Yep, so this was a special Animesplaining going over WrestleMania in 2 weeks. So sometime in that 2-week time frame, we normally do it on a Tuesday or Thursday or what have you, but we'll figure it out. We will do every single one of the Anime of the Year contenders. These guys just need to, or I guess these guys, because they're down there, just need to watch a couple episodes of each one. I am watching the entirety of the season 1 for each of them, much to my chagrin. I am slowly going
probably won't be as long as this.
But yeah, we'll be coming back to that, and I think that's going to be a fun show because I've written some things down regarding some of these shows that I like. It's like, this show is about this, and this is why I like it. And this show is about this, and it's fucking trash. So that's what you have to look forward to as we come in. We also had our best performing episode with going over what Marvel Midnight Suns would look like with DC characters, because we piggybacked off of Marvel Rivals apparently, because that's what's at least on the YouTube stuff. But yeah, if you want to, you out there in internet land, feel free to do the like, do the shares, do the subscribes. We don't monetize this. We'll just play licensed music nonstop otherwise. And if you want to go through the backlog,
what's the Cody line again? I just do what they tell me and I get rich.
Yep, that is Joey's role here. He just slowly gets tortured by watching anime. Like, Joey, I'm actually interested in what you would think of Dragon Ball Z's booking, because they go from having a very, very good babyface storyline with passing the torch to the next generation, and then just bring the main character back in the next arc.
Well, you have to see some Dragon Ball Z to get how I got tricked into watching anime. I thought all anime was like Dragon Ball Z, and it wasn't.
That's been my hard no, telling Tony from the beginning. There's no Dragon Ball Z.
Well, what you see it, it's like, this is just wrestling, isn't it? It's just wrestling.
Yeah, we just need to slowly break Joey down. But yeah, we have the entire arc of Demon Slayer coming out this year, because we get the first of.
I guess I'm already too invested in that one.
Yeah, and so
yes, it's too late for that.
We'll see that goddamn movie.
It's like wrestling. It's too late. You're invested now. You got to see how these characters end.
And Lazarus finally had its first good episode. It took 4 episodes for it to do it, but it got there to have a good episode.
What is Lazarus?
Lazarus is it's kind of a throwback. It's made by Shinichiro Watanabe, who made Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. It is very in the vein of Cowboy Bebop. They have a jazz soundtrack. The art style is very similar. It's not true sci-fi, because they
does the hero has a complete carefree attitude.
Yep.
Yeah.
His main character trait is he does parkour, but the episode 4 is...
God damn it. Now they just full on made him skater. Not just a skater attitude, but just made him a skater.
But yeah, we'll probably do Lazarus after we do the Anime of the Year thing, since at that point season 1 should be done. But we'll figure it out as we go into it. But yeah, and at Marlin, at some point we should do Batman Ninja and Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League.
Yeah, we should touch on that. It's an excuse to watch that.
Yep.
I'd never watch it otherwise.
But yeah, that is Animesplaining, and if you want my best thing in wrestling this week, if we're truly doing the fantasy bookers thing, go seek out Minoru Suzuki against Butterbean. It is the worst pro wrestling match you will ever see.
It's not the best thing in wrestling. That's the worst thing in wrestling.
It is so bad that it's glorious.
Go listen to Bailey on Chris Van Vliet. Bailey's fun, and I like Bailey.
Marlon,
and hearing about her friendship still lasting with Mercedes Moné, that would be my best thing in wrestling.
Tony Storm is still the best thing in wrestling. Years later, Tony Storm is still the best thing in wrestling. Go follow Tony Storm.
Yep. And on that bombshell, I'm hitting the stop streaming button. So see ya, guys.